tonight.
He is. Nobody has as many fights as he does. He's got 39 pro bouts.
And he's the oldest guy for sure, 36 years of age. He'll have 10 years on Ahmedov.
And here we go, ladies and gentlemen, 10-round super middleweight action. First to make his way to the ring from Mexico City, Mexico, David Сеггара.
Again, Сеггара, originally from Peru, migrates to Mexico City. I would imagine he gets some good sparring and certainly good altitude there. He had 135 amateur fights. Now, as I mentioned, his last fight, I mentioned in the open, these guys are coming off knockout losses. He was knocked out in the second round of his last fight in June of this year, but by a pretty good puncher.
Yes, David Lemieux, one of the heaviest-handed, hardest punchers in recent memory, at least in the last 15 years or so, at 160 pounds and 168 pounds. Сеггара started his career, I think, like as a
his
junior
opponent ready to make his way to the ring, fighting out of the red corner from Kazakhstan, Ali Ahmedov.
When Ahmedov was last in the ring, December of 2020, he was stopped in the 12th round. Doug, you talked about that in the open, but by a guy who's a pretty damn good fighter.
Yeah, southpaw from South America, Carlos Gongora, a fighter that a lot of top super middleweights don't want to fight. He's one of those avoided guys, and Akhmedov's team accepted him as a late substitute, and they may have made a mistake with that. Although it was a hell of a fight. It was a fight that Ahmedov was winning early. In fact, he had Gongora in trouble in the second round, buzzed him numerous times, but he was looking for the knockout too hard. He was headhunting, loading up with every shot, and gradually got outboxed by Gongora, who was a real savvy southpaw who could punch a little bit, very accurate puncher. And I think he just ran out of gas going into the championship rounds and was stopped in the 12th round.
Over 200 amateur fights for Ahmedov.
We're talking about the judges. Good, clean, hard fight.
And let's get this fight started.
Shots behind. When I say break, you break, okay?
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, we are set to go 10-round super middleweight action. Introducing to you first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing black trunks trimmed in gold. He weighed in 173 and 1/2 pounds. This veteran of 39 professional fights holds a record of 34 victories, 5 defeats with 21 wins, coming by way of knockout, presentando desde Distrito Federal, México, David Сеггара. And across the ring, his opponent fighting out of the red corner, wearing white trunks, black trim. He weighed in 170 pounds even. In 17 fights, his record stands at 16 victories with 1 defeat, 12 wins, coming by way of knockout. Fighting out of Henderson, Nevada, by way of Almaty, Kazakhstan, here is Ali Ahmedov. And your referee in charge of the action is Jerry Cantu.
Estás resolviendo sus instrucciones en el camerino. You receive your instructions in the dressing room. Give me a good clean fight. Dame un pelea limpio.
How do these two stack up with the tail of the tape, Doug?
They definitely favor Ali Ahmedov, who has a 4-inch reach advantage. He's got 5 inches in his wingspan, but the glaring statistic, 10 years younger at age 26.
And will he be able to take advantage of that, or will Сеггара be the one to use that experience to his advantage?
Are you ready? Listo. 8 peleas, 8 rounds.
Right away you see Ahmedov coming, trying to be the aggressor. the upper body movement by Сеггара. Ahmedov originally from Kazakhstan. No wonder Triple G is his favorite fighter, along with Muhammad Ali.
Triple G is his promoter. You better say it's your favorite.
Wise to say that.
Exactly.
Сеггара told us his favorite fighter, Sugar Ray, and I don't know what Sugar Ray he was talking about, though. I should have asked him, but either way.
I'm guessing.
Yeah, and a guy named Mike Tyson. He started out at age 12. Didn't want to give us a prediction, but seemed to be pretty confident. Good body shot there by Ahmedov. Is it me, or does Ahmedov just look so much bigger?
Yeah, this is a more natural weight for Ahmedov than it is for Сеггара. Like I said, turned pro, Сеггara did at junior middleweight, was a solid middleweight. Maybe pushing things physically a little bit at super middleweight, but he weighed in at 173.5 pounds. 3.5 pounds heavier than the guy who's 4 inches taller and 10 years younger. I don't know if that's a good sign. But he's got, he's a veteran, he's got a fighter's pride, and I think he's going to be, try to be crafty and pesky in there.
You could see that too. Does have 21 KOs in his 34 victories. Stopped 4 times in his career. Ahmedov just has suffered the 1 stoppage loss. In his 16 wins, he has 12 KOs. You can see Сеггара trying to use some of that crap, but getting nailed with a right hand.
Yeah, he tries to sort of twist and roll away from Ahmedov's right hand and come back with his own right hand.
He knows right away that he can't physically impose himself on Ahmedov. So he's going to move and try to hit and run and see if he can't frustrate the younger man and maybe tire him out as the rounds go on.
He landed a nice left hook there, and it absolutely didn't even phase Ahmedov.
Yeah, but he needed to land something.
Yes,
he did.
Couple of good jabs by Ahmedov. Not a lot of action, but most of it, the good stuff, by Ali Ahmedov in round 1. Difficult to score that first round.
That was all Ahmedov. I have a feeling that Jonathan Banks' trainer is telling him, settle down. You got this, so take your time.
Certainly the good action in the first round was by Ahmedov.
Yeah, he initiated everything. And there's a nice straight right. And
Сеггара answers back with sort of a cuffing right cross to the ear. Didn't really land flush. But I like that right hand because Ahmedov wasn't loading up too much. He wasn't overextending with it. And that's what Jonathan Banks wants. He wants accurate punching. And he wants Ahmedov, above all, to think in there.
It's amazing how many wonderful fighters come out of Kazakhstan in recent years, and Ukraine that we'll see in the main event with Boachuk.
Yeah, both nations and cultures have very strong amateur
programs.
Yeah, programs, exactly.
Kind of like we used to be back in the day.
Once upon a time.
We had a little more success this year in the Olympics, but no gold. Unless I missed something.
No gold.
What do you think Сеггара needs to try to do here early in this fight? Certainly not lay against the ropes.
Yeah, he's a sitting duck against the ropes.
Does he have enough other, skills?
Yeah, when he's in close, I'd like to see him try to tap the body of Ahmedov.
Definitely get his jab going a little bit more. Ahmedov likes to stalk. I know he's learning how to cut the ring off. And he's not there yet. So the
Lateral movement's okay, but you're not going to win a fight that way. You're just going to survive.
And I hope Сеггара isn't at that stage of his professional career where he's just called in to go rounds, you know, and then look for the soft spot on the canvas. And that happens. It happens to a lot of fighters. At some point, they sort of give up that dream of fighting for a world title or winning a world title, and they're like, okay, I'm going to make as much money as I can as a professional opponent. But that mentality does not make for the best fights.
And he just, right now, he's just trying to basically survive these rounds and hang in there.
Yeah, the sneak overhand right isn't doing anything yet. So I'd like to see him try some other punches.
But he's battling a real uphill battle in more ways than one. The much younger guy, 10 years younger, the much bigger guy. So there's just a lot to overcome for Сеггара. We'll see if his experience can do it. But, you know, with these rehydrations these days, you wonder whether Akhmedov might be, you know, right now more like a cruiserweight.
Yeah, and it's, you know, with Akhmedov, that added weight is, it just fuels his athleticism because he has a frame to carry it. Whereas you look at the bone structure of Сеггara, and he's too heavy. Ooh, he ate an uppercut.
He hurt him with that shot. He's in trouble. Сеггara got hit with an uppercut in the right hand and holding on to see if Akhmedov jumps on him. Looping right by Сеггara.
Oh, nice hook from Сегgara. That's what we wanted to see, some other punches. And Akhmedov ran into it.
But handled it well. Kind of shrugged it off. There's some blood I saw. Was that from the nose of Сегgara?
Zegara's nose has bled from the first round.
I didn't see any blood on Akhmedov, or not from him. There was some blood on his shoulder, I think, but it was Zegara's blood.
Yep. Action round number 2, most of it Akhmedov.
Yeah, Akhmedov nice and calm between rounds, and he kept his composure during round 2. Landing accurate punches, a jab followed by a right hand. And
Сегgara landed his best punch of the fight, a left hook, just as Akhmedov was loading up with a left to the body.
Сегgara preparing for his 3rd round. Akhmedov starts out with a few jabs. There's another nice left hook by Сегgara. Seems to be found a little success with that shot.
Yeah, maybe Сегgara hasn't settled into the professional opponent mode just yet, or not yet in this fight. He saw something, he saw an opening at the end of round 2, and he tried it again here at the start of round 3.
Yeah, I think you used the word pesky, and that's kind of what he does with these little maneuvers that he does, these little twitches, just enough to try to get out of the line of.
He just ate a nice compact 1-2 combination from Akhmedov.
Yeah,
he's gonna have to use some head and upper body movement a little bit more.
He's trying, but backing against those ropes, I just don't think he has the good shots on the corner there, up against the ropes by Akhmedov, and Сегgara has to get off of those ropes.
Yes.
Or he's going to taste the canvas.
Сегgara is cagey, but he's not slick.
He's not Pernell Whitaker, he's not James Toney, especially up against those ropes. He can block a little bit, but he's going to eat some hard shots.
Our ringside guest got showered with sweat
as Akhmedov was teeing off from Сегgara.
They're all scooting back a little bit.
That's what happens for you VIPs that want to sit ringside.
How's that for a chant?
Yeah, kind of reminds me of a guy I used to be with at the 5th Street Gym when I hear that. Chants of Ali for Ali Ahmedov. And the white with a little bit of red.
Yeah.
That red is from the blood from Сегgara. He's got his back against the ropes again.
Right.
Can't imagine him going the entire 10 if he just keeps that back against the ropes.
No, he's going to gradually be worn down.
Mouth open, nose bleeding, a little bit of movement. Trying to be, as you say, trying to be crafty and sneaky.
Yeah.
And
thing is Akhmedov has some decent technique. He's not expert adept at cutting off the ring yet, but these are the kind of fights where he learns how to do that.
He doesn't waste anything either, you know. And there was a nice three-punch combination. That body shot was home. Look at the mouth of Сеггара.
Yeah. That body shot bothered him.
Agree. Oh. Right through the ropes goes Сеггара. They need to do something to that rope there. It's too loose.
Well, they have to reattach the strap.
It's like the ropes in Kinshasa, Zaire or something.
Speaking of Ali.
Yeah.
And I think maybe the doctors are looking kind of closely at Сеггara. He's got a lot of blood coming from that mouth and nose, as we see some highlights from round 3.
They might be calling in the doc. They might be calling in the doctor. Here's where he goes through the ropes.
Yeah, and it's just really kind of fatigue, an accumulation of punishment. His legs are tired.
He's got his mouth wide open too. I don't know if you said it was that nose has been bleeding from the jump street. Could be a broken nose.
Right, and it's hard to get oxygen in.
They're stopping
it. Probably the right thing to do.
Stop the fight.
So it'll go down. Referee, I guess it was the doctor who probably stopped the contest.
Yes, and in California, the ringside physician has the authority to stop a contest, even if the referee thinks it can continue. It's one of those rules that's